It's such a great turnout. I'm so happy to see all of you and to see so many familiar faces. And if you know me at all, you know that this is a very happy day for me because I get to talk about one of my very favorite subjects of all time, other than my children, I will say, and that is live shopping. For those who don't know me, my name is Marcy McKenna, and I am going to be hosting the live shopping crash course today and tomorrow. And I just want to give you a tiny bit of my background because most of you do know it, but I do want everybody who doesn't to understand why the heck I'm talking about it and who am I to be talking about live shopping. And so I will say that I have been in the live shopping space for about almost 15 years now. And I do know that because I started out at HSN 15 years ago. They're getting ready to move to QVC. In fact, the last HSN show in the HSN studio is going to be on June 25th. Crazy, crazy. Not that they're closing down completely. They're actually loading all of the furniture from all of the sets and Tampa, or just outside of Tampa, Florida, onto trucks and trucking them to Westchester, Pennsylvania, where they will be with the QVC peeps. So it's all going to be under one roof now, but to the public, outward facing, it is going to be business as usual. They'll still be the two separate entities, but they will be under one roof in Westchester, Pennsylvania. And I bring that up for a couple reasons. One of them being that there's a lot of new and very exciting things happening with QVC and HSN right now. They are doing a bit of a pivot toward social shopping, which we'll talk about. But that is where I started. And I started because I had done an inventor reality show that Kelly Ripa did way back when, and I ended up winning. And when you win, you get to have your product featured on HSN, and you are going to be the one hosting with your product on HSN. And I was terrified. I knew what it was because that's where all the grandmas shopped, is what I thought. But I didn't know much more than that. So I did decide I was going to start watching. So I knew what to do when I was on. And I started watching, and Joy Mangano was on the very first show I ever watched. Many of you probably know who she is, the queen of live shopping. And I was amazed the first time I watched because I had zero intention of buying anything. I just wanted to learn. What I quickly found was that I had bought 4 things on her show that I did not intend to buy. And I was thinking, wow, she's really good. What did she do to lure me in to buy these things? And I realized at the end of it, I think it was an hour-long show, that I really felt like I knew her. And like we were having coffee, chatting together. And when you know someone, you generally trust them. And I really, that know, like, and trust factor happened for me during that first show. So I was immediately fascinated. And then I went to the HSN studios for my very first live shopping airing. And I'll never forget walking through those studio doors and just being mesmerized by what I saw. Going into my green room, that was very exciting. But in my green room, what was so exciting was the big screens that showed all of the numbers. It was a little like, and is a little like, Las Vegas, and just seeing the spikes that happen. And when I was watching these, even just these small brands coming in and the volume that they were doing, that was when I got the bug, because I really became fascinated. My sort of inventor mind started going about, what is it about live shopping that is so unique and different that people are buying like crazy? It's a frenzy that happens. And when I came to learn the statistics around HSN specifically at the time, they have a 90% retention rate. Their average customer buys 32 products a year and spends on average $1,700 a year. Those are big numbers for an average customer. And there's a reason for numbers like that. And the reason is because the hosts and the guest hosts that come on are building an authentic connection with the people behind that camera, on the other side of that camera. And the people, like I felt like I knew Joy Mangano and the host that was on with her, and now all the hosts. And you look forward to watching again and again. And if you happen to live alone, it's just, kind of a fun thing to do. And so I tell you that story because fast forward 15 years, and now live shopping has completely flip-flopped and is very, very different, although that kind of live shopping still does exist and will continue to exist. But now we are in the modern age of live shopping. And for the past several years, I have been hosting on Amazon Live. I have been hosting my own show with the Grommet, a weekly series called Grommet Live. And I did a show called Inventor Live, which was a ton of fun, where I would have women inventors on and their products, and we would weave live shopping into that. And I've hosted on Pinterest TV and Facebook Live and YouTube Live, and you name it, I have done it. And in doing all of that and watching the progression that's happening finally in the US, it's become very, very exciting. And when I say finally, I mean literally, I think 2025 is when it's all happening. So when I think about all of you that I'm seeing are here right now, gosh, I think I have to give up on Sherry. I've tried so many times. Shoot, I feel bad. Okay. I'm thinking that you guys are here for one of two reasons. And I would love for you guys to chime in the chat on a couple things, because I do want to ask you guys a couple questions. And I do want to keep this interactive too. So if you have questions as we go along, please, please let me know that. And if I don't get to them during, we will definitely save time at the end and get into the questions then. But I'm guessing that you're here for for one of two reasons. And one of them, it's either that you are currently in the e-commerce space and you're trying all different kinds of things and it's getting really, really challenging and things aren't working. And what I know to be true, because I work with so many inventors and so many brands in the e-com space, the challenges that I am seeing most frequently, I'm going to give you the three top ones, and I would love for you to chime in the chat and add on to those if there are other ones that I'm missing. But the ones that I hear most often are, number one, the increase in ad spend, that it's becoming so darn expensive to be able to do any kind of meaningful advertising. And I was curious, actually, right before this webinar, I wanted to find out what are the current, what's happening currently. I just know that they're doing this and this year over year, and it's getting harder and harder for us smaller brands to keep up at all. And with how overcrowded that e-com space is right now, how do you stand out? You feel like you're just barely keeping your head above water, if that. And so Facebook, their ad cost is up 89%. TikTok up 92%, Snapchat 64%, Google Ads year over year 23%, I think. So it's next to impossible. The other thing that I'm hearing is a big challenge in the e-com space is returns. And if you already have a product out there and you are on Amazon, and I would love to know that, guys, if you do have products, where are your products now? Where are you selling? Where are you having the most success? But if you are on Amazon, without question, returns can absolutely kill a business. In 2024, this blew my mind. I thought I was reading it wrong. In 2024, $890 billion in returns. 890, that's just US. And then you think about the costs of those returns. And on average, the costs of those returns typically are somewhere between 30% and 60% of the original cost of that item. I mean, it's just unheard of. And I don't know how you combat that, other than to reduce those rates. That you're not going to combat the costs, because the costs are what they are. But how can you lower those returns so that that's not the biggest cost driver of your business? That's not the reason that your profit margins are getting thinner and thinner and thinner, which I know that is a big deal as well. And then, of course, and I kind of touched on it already, but it is just becoming so overcrowded. And everybody and their brother and aunt and uncle and everybody is getting into selling online. And so again, and if you have a successful product, about those knockoffs, that as soon as someone sees you having success, there's 50 more of the product that you invented or that you launched. So that is just another huge challenge. And what excites me so much about those challenges is not that you have them. I can't stand that you have them. I can't stand that that's where we are. But what excites me is what live shopping can do to solve those challenges. And I just feel like it is this golden ticket, and the time has never been more perfect, especially if you are a small, even solopreneur to mid-size, to jump on live shopping. What am I? It's hard for me to tell. Hold on.
It's Timothy.
Oh, I can. Okay.
He's in this room.
Mute all current. Okay. Okay, guys, I'm just going to mute everybody for now, and you'll see the hand bar down below. You can raise your hand if you want to ask a question, or you can put it in the chat. So whatever you prefer there is great with me. I'm trying to see if I can change my view. I'm not going to get fancy here because in all honesty, I don't do Zoom very often as far as leading a meeting. All of my live shopping shows I do through an app called Restream. So I'm very used to that and not so used to this. So you have to kind of bear with me on this. Okay, so talking about all the challenges of e-com and how live shopping can really solve those is so exciting to me. One of the things I find is that so many brands that start live shopping, they have this idea that as soon as they go live, they're going to be making a windfall of money, millions of dollars. You just pull that lever and there you go. And so another part of the reason I wanted to have this event is to really educate you guys on what to expect with live shopping. Because whether you like it or not, it is here and it is here to stay. And it is just doing this in crazy numbers. So I'm going to get into those crazy numbers in just a second here when I talk about the second reason that you might be here, and that is to find out what is all the hype around live shopping, and is it something that I should be looking at for my business or not? Is my product right for live shopping? How can I do live shopping if it is right for my product? So we are going to walk through all of that together. But I'm going to start with, in talking about live shopping, I'm going to start with just a couple statistics and case studies, if you will, to give you a sense of what's happening. It is really, really exciting. So how many of you are familiar with Whatnot? I've been talking about it a little bit. I have a Let's Talk Live Shopping show. I see Tim is, Bonnie is. Are either of you on there doing anything with it? No. Okay. Cindy is. Okay, great. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. They came out with a report not long ago about the state of live shopping. They did a real heavy duty deep dive on live shopping. And some of the statistics around it were so exciting. It's kind of what I've known, but to be able to share those with you is really fun. To share them with you out of a report is really fun. So one thing I'll tell you just about Whatnot, for those who don't know what it is a live streaming, live selling platform. It is the biggest live shopping platform in America right now. It did, in 2024, they did $3 billion in sales. 2025, they're on track to do $6 billion in sales with a B. They doubled the number of sellers on their platform last year and are on track to do that again. And they doubled the number of first-time buyers on the platform. This platform in particular excites me a lot right now, especially for smaller brands and solopreneurs. They originally started out doing trading cards and collectibles and coins and things like that. They now do over 50 categories. I think 51 categories is where they are right now, but that's growing rapidly. And 1 in 4 Gen Zers on Whatnot are making over $150,000 a year. 1 in 4. And they looked at not the platform, but they looked at live selling in general. And 1 in 4 people are selling now over $300,000. 1 in 4 live selling people that are doing live selling are selling more than $300,000 a year. Crazy. And so that's what's possible. That's what's happening. This is just how people are preferring to shop. I'm throwing out all these statistics, so forgive me, but they're important for various reasons that you'll understand. But they also did a study just asking American consumers about how they prefer to receive ads and information from brands. And 82% prefer live content, live over recorded video, live over static posts and things like that. So it's what the customers are demanding as well. And so what's exciting is not just I'm giving you the numbers of 300,000, but that can be people selling other people's products too. So that doesn't But who I believe that I'm talking to for the most part today are people that have their own products. And so to me, that's even more exciting because when they're your own products and you have the power to go live whenever you want and talk about your products and tell your story and get to know your customer, the people that you're designing these products for, what a coup. I listened to Gary Vee, who's huge, got, I don't know, 25 million followers or something ridiculous. And he has been screaming about live shopping from the rooftops, and in particular, Whatnot. In fact, I think he even invested in Whatnot. But I was curious, and so went on to a couple of his shows, and people were calling in saying how they just started selling their products on Whatnot, and they have to stop selling because they can't keep up with the orders. And so they've got to not do live anymore and fill the orders and get caught up. And he looked at them and said, "What are you talking about? Why would you do that? Why wouldn't you realize you can hire someone to host your events while you fill the orders back here, or vice versa? You hire someone to fill the orders and you go live." And so I tell you that because right now, I would challenge all of you, all including me, to have sort of a shift in your mindset about what live shopping is and how it works. We all wake up in the morning, whatever your career or job or whatever it is, we get up and we go to the office, or we work in our home office, or whatever we do in the hours that you work throughout the day. I've been doing live shopping for 15 years, and I always think of live shopping as that's something I do once a week or once a month or once a quarter, depending on the platform that I'm doing it on. But today, it's something that we should be doing as a major part of our business every single day if we want to be successful. And some of you may have received an email from me recently where I highlighted a podcast interview that I just listened to that was on the Helium 10, the Helium 10 podcast, Serious Sellers podcast. And if you didn't get that, I can just put something in the chat to let me know, and I'll make sure to send that over to you. But it's really worth watching. It was with a gentleman named Jared, who has a underwear company, a men's underwear company called Real Men Apparel. And he started out on Amazon and had some good success on Amazon. And as part of his duties, he went to Asia to meet with manufacturers. And while he was there, he was in some of the live shopping studios and saw what was going on. And his mind was blown as he saw the volume that these people were doing in Asia. And he thought, "Oh, I need to figure out what's going on in America, and it's coming. If it's not there yet, it's coming." So he came back and he looked around at TikTok and looked at Amazon Live and all these different things. He started going live on TikTok. He goes live almost every day, and he does it for 4 to 5 hours a day. And in doing that, he's making roughly 12,000. He's selling about $12,000 per hour when he goes live with underwear. So imagine, and he was someone that he would never dream of being in front of the camera. That was just not my thing at all until he went to Asia and he saw what was going on. And then he just said, "I'm going to just try it. I'm going to just go live and see what happens." And so that's what he did. And I tell you that because he is your everyman. When we think of QVC and HSN, we think of these fancy hosts and, the studios and the producers and the hair and makeup and all that. This is Jared. And he found a corner in his garage or office, or I forget what it was. And that's where he went live from. And he set it up to make it look, decent. And he goes live every day. And so if you have a product or a product idea, because you can even go live before your product launches to build a tribe around it, live shopping has got to be a part of your marketing strategy if you want to survive in the e-commerce space today. I need to check my little waiting room. Oh, okay. So exciting stuff. I could tell you story after story, case study after case study. I talked a lot about the dollars around live shopping, but I want to now shift gears because in my mind, the dollars are a tiny part of what makes live shopping so fantastic for any direct to consumer brand. Not just, originally we think of regular, Amazon products for live shopping, but the truth is in Asia and around the rest of the world, they're selling cars and yachts and houses and everything with live shopping. So the US is just finally getting caught up, but we are getting caught up to the tune of year over year, 36% growth. So it's exciting. And they make predictions. Like I remember originally they had predicted in the US it was going to be originally it was going to be 38 billion. They quickly updated that to 60 billion for 2025, and they've updated it again to 90 billion. So they've been way behind on their projections and they just can't even keep up with it. So it's really, really exciting stuff. Now, my goal today is I want to obviously get you guys excited about it because I'm such a huge believer in it. I've been doing it for so long and I've been helping other brands do it. And now I'm so excited because there are so many tools out there. There are so many platforms out there. There is my Live Shopping Academy that can make this all so easy. And because I work with so many smaller inventors, I see how people can get discouraged in the e-com space right now for all the reasons that I discussed at the top of the show, for those returns and the ad spend and how do you keep up? How do you get your product seen? It's a tough one. And then we put tariffs on top of that. It makes it even tougher, I know. But what's so cool about live shopping, if I had to sum it up into I was going to say one word, it's probably more than one word, but the idea that you're taking the power of your business back. I think it's so unsettling to me to think of my hands are in a big fancy marketing company determines whether my product does good or how much I can afford to spend at this marketing company or what my cost per click is. And like that is just, and can I keep up with that algorithm? And can I think of something to post? And will people like my post? And it's exhausting. It's exhausting, especially if you're doing it on your own. And when I think of live shopping, it's like this sigh of relief that I get because you're about to have fun doing what you're doing when you start live shopping. It's in the beginning, it's scary. I get it. I was there too, for sure. And every person I ever work with is scared to death. But once you just go live and you start doing it, you're going to love it. It's so much fun. And then when you see the results, we talked about the numbers, but I'm going to get into the other results, then it becomes really fun. And then you remember why you got into this business in the first place. And so that's what's happening. So let me do my best to share my screen here. And we're going to talk through some of the benefits of live shopping. I think I might have found it. Did I not find it? Are you guys seeing it? Okay, because I'm not. I'm glad you are. Oh, wait, enter full screen. Okay, now I see. Okay, I'm going to thumb through a. You don't need those. I'll come back to that. Okay, this is where I wanted to be. So I want to talk to you about what live shopping is beyond just the numbers. And the first one, it does have to do with the numbers, that is conversion rates. So as many of you might know, conversion rates in the e-com space right now, just a static product listing page is hovering between 2 and 3%. So not great. With live shopping, these are not like pie in the sky. It might happen, 10 times conversion rates, many more times conversion rates. And sometimes I look at my Amazon Live analytics and I think they can't be right because they're so high. But it's true. And it's true because if you think about it, you're hosting a party, you're inviting your friends into this party, and you're having a good time with them, and you're sharing your knowledge, and you're sharing your story, and you're chatting back and forth with them, and you're building what I described earlier with Joy Mangano, that know, like, and trust factor. And even if those conversions don't happen immediately inside the show, which I will tell you many times they don't, 80% of the conversions happen after the show. So we're going to get to how that happens and how that works later. But let's just take inside the show what does happen. And so most importantly, you're creating that relationship, that bond. I just, in my quest to, I'm just kind of a scrappy business person, just kind of how I work. When I started with live shop with HSN, I discovered that they had these Facebook groups, and this was a while ago, but I saw that these women were all inside these Facebook groups, and I thought, I want to go in there and get to know them and see if I can ask them some questions about the products that I'm developing. Was curious, like, do they like, when it comes to the hardware on my luggage and things, would they rather have silver? Would they rather have gold? Things like that. So I would go into the Facebook groups and then I'd ask them in the chats. And then I realized, well, why can't I go live so I can show them these things? And so that's what I started doing. And I would have these Facebook Live events. And I didn't mean to be doing live shopping at the time. I just wanted to ask these people questions. And what I soon realized is that they became live shopping events, and that the women would get so excited to come and see what I had, what I was working on, and to be a part of my product development process. And it was something that I so look forward to. And because it's a fun time, but again, as a product innovator, to be able to talk directly to the people that you're creating your products for is gold. It is gold. I have launched so many products on HSN, and I think almost, I want to say every one, but maybe there's one or two that I can't say that about. They all became customer picks very quickly. And the reason for that, I believe, is what I did inside of Facebook groups. It's because I got to know them. And so they were a part of my process. So when those products launched, they were all in and wanted to buy those products. So I had this sort of tribe of raving fans that not only were excited to buy the products, but then they wanted to share it with everybody and say, oh, I was a part of this process, and look at this, and I chose that color. And it's just become this wonderful thing that I cherish. And then I soon realized, wow, this is live shopping in and of itself, because then I could actually sell those products on Facebook Live and on Instagram Live and elsewhere. So that, just that alone, being able to, during your show, get to know your customer is incredible. And then with your live shopping events, I happen to think live shopping is the single fastest, easiest, most effective way to grow a targeted email list for your product or your brand. And boy, I cannot think of anything more valuable than a solid email list. So, being that I am someone that's had 2 YouTube channels closed down and 1 Facebook channel closed down, you would think you would think I was a major criminal or something, but I was hacked, and so that happened a couple different times. And anyway, all these followers that I worked so hard to get over 12 years were suddenly gone and never to be found again. And I can't get in touch with them because I didn't have their email addresses. So the fact that, we've got more in the waiting room. Okay. So the fact that you can grow an email list so quickly with live shopping is quite a coup. And the way that you do that, there are lots of different ways to do it, but the most effective way, I think, is by doing a giveaway. And if you've been on any of my shows, you know I always do 2 giveaways. And so I'm going to stop sharing the screen for a second here. Come back to you. So giveaways are just the golden ticket, because not only do you get to get everybody's emails because they're entering the giveaway, but it does so many other things in the process. So it helps you promote your live shopping event ahead of time, because you can put that giveaway out there for people to enter. And then those people want to come show up at your event, right? Because they want to know if they're going to win. And then while they're in the event, you can maybe, and if you've been on my shows, you've seen me do this too, where I let you guys, for the people that are there live, you get a second chance to win my giveaway by saying a little something inside the chat. And sometimes it's just say the word giveaway, and people will type in giveaway, giveaway. What that does, and I'm letting you guys who go to my shows in on a little secret, what that does is it triggers the algorithm, because I have got Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all the different channels that I'm on. And I've got all these people on my show and they're staying there for a long time. That's one reason that it triggers the algorithm. But when that chat gets going, they're saying, whoa, something interesting is going on over there. And so they work behind the scenes. They're your little social media team to find lookalike audiences to send to that show because something cool is going on there. So if you have ever struggled to get people to watch your events or to go to like your posts or whatever, if you have struggled with the algorithm like I have, this is a wonderful thing. And it really is. I picture these little guys in the background, because I'll start a show and there might be 20 people on. And by the end of the show, there was 3,000 people on. And it wasn't because I invited those 3,000. It was because the social media gods worked behind the scenes to make that happen, because people were staying, the watch time was long, and you get the chat going. And so there's lots of different tips and tricks and things like that to get that going, but it's really, really valuable. The other thing that happens with live shopping, when kind of staying on that algorithm element, is SEO ranking. So if you do your live shopping events and you do them on your own website, or even if you embed them later on your website, then the time on the watch time, the time on page goes up exponentially, because the average time that someone is on your website on any given page is just a couple seconds. And so now, like for instance, my Grommet live shows, my average watch time is 28 minutes. And so imagine what that can do to SEO ranking when you used to have 2 seconds and now it's 28 minutes. So Google and the powers that be start paying attention, and organically, without paying for it, your SEO ranking starts to go up. I will tell you that one of the things Grommet has loved so much about the live shopping events is not only the events themselves, but what we do with the events afterward. And so if I feature 7 products, we will take those 7 products and slice them into 7 different kind of shoppable videos. And we put those up on the different social media channels. And that has really helped their SEO ranking, because they're videos. So people are watching them for longer periods of time, and that can make a big difference in SEO. And so they're ranking page 1 for many, I want to say almost most of the products that they have on their site now. So it's been really, really successful for them. And that's something that all of you guys can do so easily just by hosting an event, just by going live. Okay, I'm going to go, well, actually, I don't even need to go back to the slide. Let me just hit a couple more benefits that I personally love, but I could go on and on about them because there are so many. But the ones that are just like, wow, this can really be a needle mover for your business. Another one is average order value. That kind of across the board, you can see double or triple average order values, easy peasy, sometimes many, many times more than that when you do live shopping. And I know that that is a KPI, a measurement that everyone is after right now, is increasing how much each one of your customers spends when they're there. And it's just so seamless in live shopping. I always use my makeup example because I usually have makeup here somewhere. And I say, well, I've got my little hairspray here. So let's say I'm just selling this hairspray and I'm saying, I love this hairspray because, oh, it just gives just the right amount of hold without being sticky, and so I love it. This is just no brainer. And I love the size of it. It fits in my purse. So when I'm traveling, it just goes right through TSA. It's awesome. And if you're going to get this, they have a comb that is amazing how this comb works, especially in conjunction with this hairspray. And by the way, if you're someone with a little longer hair and you ever like to put your hair up, check out these bobby pins or these scrunchie. And so you're just, I mean, the one leads to the next, and they came to maybe get one product, and before they know it, their cart is full with many different products. And when I sell my own, an example is my beauty case right back there. That's one of my HSN products. And whenever I'm live, I will start talking about it and talking about how I use it. And the second I get to the gifting, when I start talking about who I gift it to and for what occasions and what I put inside of it to make it even a more fun gift, maybe they were going to buy one beauty case, and by the end, they're up to 5, 6, 7 beauty cases. And so again, imagine what that does to average order value. And so even if you're someone that only has 1 product or 2 products, what you can do is collaborate with other people, and you can sell their products. You can, whether it's through an affiliate relationship, but it doesn't have to be your own products. It can be complementary products to yours. And so that's become easier and easier to put other people's products inside your storefronts as well. So that's just one more. Let's see, was there any other that I wanted to hit on? How am I doing on time? Okay. Okay. Any questions so far? I know it's probably like drinking from a fire hose at this moment. Oh, we've got a question from Ginger. What social media platform do you use to push all the media out together? Hootsuite. Okay. When you say to push the media out together, did you mean in terms of live shopping, my live shopping events? Because this isn't, I'll wait, and we have a little bit of a delay in the chat. Yes, that is what she means. Okay. So I do want to talk to you about a couple of the different tools. I also want to talk to you about the different platforms because I know that's a question I get a lot. A few questions I get a lot are, number one, is my product going to do well in live shopping? Is it right for live shopping? So I'm going to talk about that in just a second. And then if I am going to do live shopping, where should I do it? Do I do it on my own website? Do I do it on social? Do I do it on a marketplace kind of a platform like Amazon? What's the best place? And the answer to that one is, and then Ginger, this is going to answer your question as well. It really does depend on who your target customer is and where they are, where they hang out. So a very important, critical element of creating a successful live shopping strategy is that foundational work to really think through and effectively plan out your overall strategy for going live, where that's going to be to begin with. And then to answer Ginger's question, so what I do, I'll use mine as an example. When I do my Grommet live shows, I use a program called Restream, and I can have Jen put the link to Restream in the chat if you have that. I use Restream, and so I'll go live and I will simultaneously be on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, X, LinkedIn, all over the place. And it does it pretty darn seamlessly. But there are several different platforms like that that you can use. I highly recommend, if you can, and I'm going to give you an exception to this, but I do highly recommend that you do it from your website for the reasons I've described about the SEO. Super, super important. The other way it helps your SEO is not just the time on page, but you're putting fresh content on your website every time you do it. And fresh content is just as strong of a driver for the algorithm as time on page. So the two together is kind of that perfect 1-2 punch for SEO. So I would like for you to do it on your website, but I would, to Ginger's point, like for you to simulcast to Facebook, especially if you're a smaller brand and you don't have that following and you're wanting to get that following. And so, in the beginning, maybe you just want to do it on your website to kind of get the kinks out and, get to a point where you really love it. And then you can feel more brave to go across all the different sites. But the reason I like it across all the different sites is because you can build that audience. So you can have that giveaway going, and people who would have never seen your product before, all of a sudden you now have their email, and it's a targeted email because they opted into a giveaway that you are hosting that has something to do with your product line. Even if you're giving away something that is not your product, which I recommend that you do that. In fact, I often recommend collaborating. I did a sort of a beauty kind of a show, a personal care kind of a live shopping show not long ago, and we collaborated with Spa Finder, and they donated a gift card. And so that was the giveaway, was the Spa Finder gift card. So it's kind of a win-win where they get promotion on my live shopping event. They're giving me a gift to give away so that, and I'm growing my following and my targeted email list. And after the show, I can retarget those people. And maybe I'm running a promo for 25% off this week. And I could say, hey, thanks so much for coming to the show. I'm sorry you didn't win the giveaway, but I did want to let you know, here's a special discount code. And I hope you come back to my site because I've got, 2 new products launching or whatever it is. And you've also got them now in your subscriber list for your upcoming shows as well. Another really great tool, and Jen, I think you have this one too, the mini chat. Do you have that? Mm-hmm. Another great tool for making a direct connection with followers, fans that you don't know, but that you find through your events is a tool that I use called mini chat. And mini chat is phenomenal because what it does is I can say, let me think about this. I'm doing a special discount next week. We're doing 20% off everything in the store. If you want that discount code, just comment discount code and I'll automatically send it to your DMs. So just after the show, you can go to DMs and it'll be there. So this is an automated process and it's very simple, easy to use. And what that's just done is made a direct connection with me in the DMs of that social platform. And automatically they were sent that, and then I can say, hey, just want to make sure you received your coupon. And then I'm directly connecting with potential and existing customers. And so that's another great way to capture the data from these events and to really get to know your customers. And when you do that, that's when you get that's when you get those lifetime repeat customers because you're connecting on that level. And, in this day and age of too much tech, this brings it back to that personal connection that I think we are all craving. It's so nice. Let's see, we've got Darianne is asking, I don't have a product, not interested in creating a product, just a host looking to expand my hosting career. Oh, fantastic. Many managers are, shall I say, unprofessional and borderline shady. By the way, I do have good managers. They are out there. Good to hear. Good to hear. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you chimed in because I never know. I see all these people in here and I don't know all the reasons that everybody's here. But yes, I mean, so many influencers. I'm hearing from so many that are going, I know I need to get into this live shopping thing. I don't know how to actually do it. I don't know how to structure a show. I don't know how to engage with my audience. I don't know all of these different things, but it's what the customer, the brands are demanding of their hosts and of their influencers. And so absolutely I've read so many articles about it. Live shopping hosts are going to be making a mint very soon, if not already, because if you can do it right, and if you know those live shopping strategies, and they absolutely can be taught, and that's another reason I'm thrilled with the idea of live shopping, is you're not born with it. There is a structure to live shopping. And when you know all of those tips and tools and all of that, you can nail your live shopping events. And then you become kind of the one that everybody wants to host their shows. So I highly recommend really diving in if hosting is your thing, because it's going to be a very lucrative category for you for sure. So thank you for that question. Let's see. Tim says I was on the grommet and now expanding my product line. Oh, ouchie cap. I remember, Tim, you might be mad at me for this, but I used your ouchie cap not long ago on my dog. I hope that's okay. But I was really loved your product for kids and for adults. And so what it is guys, it's a cap that has built-in sort of gel packs, frozen gel packs, heat or frozen gel packs for earaches and headaches and different things like that. And my dog had an earache and an ear hematoma, and I was trying to put ice on her all the time to get the swelling down. And I finally went, ouchie cap. So I hope you're making them for pets, because it was a little awkward of a fit, but if it was, but it worked. It did work. I have to tell you that. Okay, so oh my gosh, stuffed animals and on product stores and future app. Algae kept making stuff. I love it. I'm so happy to hear that. And my gosh, Tim, I have no doubt that live shopping will completely change the game for you, because I can tell your personality just even with the research I did and all of that, and just going live. Now, another question I get, and I'll hit on this now, is about how long do I go live for? Do I go 15 minutes? Is it an hour? Is it? So let me say this. This is changing a lot. As I said earlier on with Gary Vee talking about why aren't you going live every day for multiple hours a day, that's the trend right now. And so part of the reason is, number one, the sales are so strong and you're getting so much golden information from the people that you're talking to that you want to go live every day. But the other thing is, and this is especially true on TikTok Live, if that's something that you're interested in, and it was true when Amazon Live first launched and still is true, when I host my Amazon Live events, they always want me to stay on for at least an hour, minimum of an hour, because it takes time for people to find you, and people jump in and people jump out. And so they really want you to have a presence there for a while. And so then I get the question of, well, what am I going to say for an hour? And do I repeat myself for people that came on late, but I don't want to upset the people that were. And so there's lots of different strategies for that. And I can talk you through all of that. But there are ways to handle all of that. So I would say absolutely bare minimum is 1 hour. My Grommet Live shows tend to be about an hour and a half. And on TikTok, that's the bare minimum, 90 minutes. Because until you hit that 90-minute mark, you have not triggered the algorithm. They're not taking you seriously on TikTok. So once you hit that 90-minute, that's when the fun starts to happen and it really builds. So that is kind of a good rule of thumb to follow when it comes to how long. And so I know that I can imagine. I remember some of my first Live Shopping Academy students thinking, oh, it'll be a 15-minute thing. I'll get in and get out. But the other truth is it goes so darn fast. You won't believe how, I mean, when my Grommet Live shows are over, I can't believe I want to just keep going and going because it's so fun. And so sometimes on Amazon Live, I'll go to even up to 3 hours. I kind of read the chat. And when I feel like it's dying down, then I'll end the show. But if people are having fun and throwing questions at me and, wanting to see other products, I'm on and I love it. Really, really fun. Okay, let's see. Many viewers showed on their pets. Oh, that's great. Okay. Would love to be back on the show when ready. Well, stay in touch and let me know. I'd love to have you back on the show. I will tell you, I do think pet products are starting to do really well on Whatnot. I've been hearing that lately. So that's a category. They don't even have actually a category that's called pets right now, but they have, depending on what kind of pet product you have, you'll find the right category for that. But I think soon. Oh, it's still just Sherry, and I can't let her in.
Oh, she tried from her tablet. Try to let her in.
Maybe we got her in. Okay.
Yep, she got in.
Oh, thank goodness, Sherry. I'm so sorry that I don't know why we had trouble getting you in, but you're in, and this is recorded, so you will get that also.
Candy's
Okay.
in
Candy's in there too?
She's trying to get in.
Oh, she just popped in right now. There is a delay on the waiting room, I have to say. We had this issue yesterday too.
There you go. She's good.
Okay.
I couldn't
So
believe they
Nicole,
wouldn't let me in.
I don't know what that is about. Okay, so Nicole's asking, once you get in the flow of it, things go quick, or saying, once you get in the flow of it, things go quick and the organic chat happens, and that the organic chat that happens only increases sales. Exactly. It is amazing how it just kind of, if you build it, they will come and they will stay and they will come back. That's the other thing. I mean, I talked about it earlier on, but that 90% customer retention rate that HSN and QVC have, it's 89%, I think it is. That's what that's about. It's because you're getting to know them and you want to come back and you want to see them again. I want to hit on returns. That was one other thing I wanted to hit on because we talked so much about that at the beginning. If you can imagine, and this is another one that people are across the board, we are seeing 50% reduction in returns with live shopping. And that's because when you are live, as you can imagine, it's this tactile kind of a thing where you're demoing the product. People can ask questions about the product. You can give tips and tricks for how to maximize the use of the product. You can tell, and you should tell people how not to use the product, that anti-sell. I have told the story before, but I'll tell it again for the sake of the betterness of all your businesses. I had a product called Style Stick, and I launched on QVC with Style Stick, and it was one of my best launches I've ever done. We sold out thousands of units in minutes. I am going to be a bazillionaire for sure. I know it. And the buyers were so happy. It was just so exciting. And this was a product that is a temporary fashion adhesive. So I could do this demo where I would hem my pants while they're on me very quickly. And I could, situate my collar and stick it down. And I had these mannequins with tank tops on and their bra straps showing. And I used the Style Stick to cover that up. And sold out. It was just so exciting. Well, we waited for the reviews to come in. The reviews came in. Half of them, literally almost down the middle, half of them were 5-star, half of them were 1-star. And the buyers were like, Marcy, what is going on here? And I realized that in my excitement with my big launch, I just talked about all the great ways to use Style Stick. And one of the biggest mistakes I made was that darn mannequin with that tank top on and the bra strap, because one of the limitations of Style Stick is that it does need to have a material that has sort of a weave to it to lock in place. And if it doesn't, so if it is a shiny, a satin, anything like that, that lock doesn't happen. And so the bra strap, many people's bra straps have that shine to them, and there's not kind of that weave. And so they were buying it for that purpose. And when they used it, it didn't work. And had I done that anti-sell, instead I hid from it and thought, I hope people don't notice. But what I now know is that I should have said, just so you know, this works on 90% of fabrics. Here's what it doesn't work on. And had I done that, I would have probably had all 5-star reviews. So major lesson learned. I did not get the reorder. I did end up launching it later on HSN. But that's what happens with live shopping is you have that opportunity. In fact, I do recommend even doing shows that are sort of FAQ shows, like the most frequently asked questions. And that's your opportunity to do that anti-style and to say, here's the question I get a lot. I've gotten returns on the product for this reason. And let me show you how to use it in a way that you won't have that problem. And so you're heading it off before it happens, and you're saving that 30, 40, 50, 60% cost of returns by doing live shopping. So you can start to see all the layers, all the benefits that happen with live shopping, that it's not at all just about the numbers. The numbers are exciting. The numbers don't happen overnight. It is a marathon and not a sprint. What I say to everybody, please commit to a minimum of 3 months. But I co-hosted a show yesterday with a gentleman that says he really recommends a year. So commit to it for, let's take his recommendation of a year. If you do it for a year, you are going to have success, unless your product is a piece of crud and it is, falls apart at the seams the second you get it. If you have a product that is demonstrable, that solves a problem, that looks decent on camera, and that you can tell a story and connect with an audience, you are going to be hugely successful with your product for all the reasons that I described, not just the numbers, but because you're going to have all that intel on your customers, because you're going to have a huge email list by the end of a year. And every time you do a launch or you do a promo or anything, you can reach out directly to that email list. And the returns on an email list versus a social media post, well, I just, social media makes me crazy trying to keep up with all that algorithm and the number of people who are actually on when you post and the shelf life of the post and all of that. But on that subject, I will say that one of the big benefits of live shopping is that it becomes your social media content machine. Every event that you do, you can turn that into several pieces of content. Maybe it's FAQs, maybe it's a customer testimony. You have somebody that just inside the chat is saying why they love your product. You can screenshot that and make that a post. So many different ways to repurpose the content after a show. And so I highly recommend, my strategy is after my show, I turn my show over to one of my editors that is a freelance editor from Fiverr or Upwork. They're, not very expensive at all. And they overnight can turn that into multiple pieces of content that become shoppable videos that I can either attach to my product listing pages. I can use them in social media. I can put them inside of emails. So many different ways to use it. And you have just solved your problem of having to figure out what to post next or what to put in your email next. So all of those strategies, all of the tips, everything I've talked about are things that I do with you guys inside the Live Shopping Academy. So I do want to get to the Live Shopping Academy and help you understand what it is, how it works, and how you can use it to kind of fast track and kickstart your own live shopping journey if you choose to do that. I did promise you, before I get into that, I did promise you that we would talk about, is your product right for live shopping? And there's new statistics out on the different categories. So I'm gonna show you that. But before I do that, I see that Hillary has raised her hand. So let's see, how do I unmute Hillary? Let's see here. Oh, okay. Asked to unmute. Okay, Hillary, I just asked you. Oh, did I do it? Let me try again.
Mouse isn't really working right.
There you are. Okay, I got you. So go ahead.
I wanted to give you a little tip. I've got a Wix website, and one thing I've got is this little app. It says guaranteed delivery, and what's nice is it's free, and my customers just pay like $1 to guarantee that their shipment gets to their place. That's really the only returns I've had to do, is because didn't get there. And it's the post office's fault. And yeah, I haven't had too many returns. I probably had 2 or 3 maybe.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It's not too bad. I mean, I probably sold about 840 different customers. And now my Trustpilot's like 4.7. So I'm doing good.
What kind of product do you have?
It's just this thing right here, my bun maker.
Oh, cool.
See, I can make a bun like this, and I can also, my camera does that all the time. I don't
Yeah.
know why.
That's-
Let's see. Turn it
Well,
off.
I can
Turn it
tell you,
back on.
Hillary, your product is so perfect for live shopping because it's so demonstrable.
Yeah, and yeah, I gotta do it. I just, I'm getting old. I gotta get my face made up and everything, and working as a machinist, and I come home all oily and dirty.
You know what? That is one of the beautiful things about live shopping right now is being authentically you is where it's at. And you
Mm-hmm.
don't have to be all fancy and all of that. Although, I know I've got some of my Live Shopping Academy students in here, and because be kind of out of request, I did create a module that is about the on-camera makeup and styling tips and things that I personally use and have learned from the makeup artists at the different studios and things that I've been lucky enough to learn from. And so that is one of the modules inside the Live Shopping Academy, is just different little tricks to kind of look your best on camera if that's important to you. But I'll tell you, it is, authenticity is fantastic. That's really,
Yeah.
really
Yeah,
where it
that was
is.
great. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was one thing that always held me back, is I come home and I'm all greasy, grungy, and I just don't feel like getting on camera. And by the time my hair dries, I'm tired. I'm falling asleep.
Yeah. Yes. Well, oh, shoot. Okay. I accidentally. Okay, Hillary, we are going to move on because I know we're coming up against the clock here. I just want to make sure I'm not missing any other questions. Guys, don't be shy with the questions if you have any. Let's see, can I connect a Whatnot live stream with the other streaming options via Restream? I believe you can, Ginger. I'm 90% sure you can. I do want to mention how many of you are on Shopify, have Shopify as your storefront? Quite a few, I think. So there are several apps out there, and we dive deep into all of the different platforms and things like that within the Live Shopping Academy. But a few that I want to highlight, that I try to test as many of them as I can and use them so that I can give my recommendations to you guys. There is one that I do like a lot called Live Me Up. And that is a Shopify app specifically. And that's one of the things I like about it, is they have really gone all in on Shopify, so they know it better than anybody. And that allows you to go live on your own site very seamlessly, and then simultaneously, uh, basically simulcast to Facebook and Instagram and YouTube and the various platforms. Not all of the platforms, but those for sure, Facebook and Instagram, and I believe YouTube. And that's a great app because it ties on, seamlessly ties to your inventory, and it just makes adding to cart so simple, so easy to use. So that's one that I definitely recommend. And again, there are so many different options in terms of the kinds of platforms, from marketplace platforms, which would be like Amazon or Whatnot, to platforms that allow you to do it right on your own site and then simulcast. And then let's say you don't have a site, you actually don't need a site. You can just use a tool like Restream and be simulcasting to all the different social platforms and building your following that way until you get a site. So lots of options. So let me explain to you guys what the Live Shopping Academy is for those who don't know. And what I said to Jen, who works with me, is I said, I want to relaunch it because it's so huge right now. So many people are needing this right now. And so I want to relaunch it, and I want to put together a package that makes it so easy for not only for you to say yes, because there is so much there, and for you to get started with live shopping, but so easy for you to get started. I want to cover all the bases. I want to basically hand over the keys to the kingdom of what took me so many years to figure out. So much trial and error. How do I promote my shows? How do I repurpose that content after the shows? How do I do a giveaway? How do I create that countdown timer? How do I put the little fancy thing around the screen when I'm going live? How do I engage my audience when I am live? What do I do? How can I get their email? How do I use ManyChat? What are the tools I should be using? All of those things. I really racked my brain of every little detail I've ever used in my live shopping events and put it inside the Live Shopping Academy so that it is the most comprehensive program to help you successfully launch into the live shopping space and kind of take all the guesswork out and make it fast and straight path to live shopping success. And so I've done that. We launched before, as I mentioned, a couple of years ago, and I have revamped several elements of it. And those that did purchase Live Shopping Academy are getting all the new elements, and that is true moving forward too. Anybody that becomes a part of Live Shopping Academy is always a part of Live Shopping Academy. So you will be getting all of the updates for sure. I'm seeing Sherry clapping. So you'll be getting all of that. And what the Live Shopping Academy is it is essentially a 6-module online course that is self-paced. You can go at your own pace. When I originally launched it, I launched one module at a time. So we would kind of do each module together and learn that way. This time, when you purchase, it's going to all be open. So wherever you are in your live shopping journey, you can start there, or you can start from the beginning and take your time. And there's some people who might want to just, I want to go live tomorrow and I want to know it all now and I'm going to binge it for 24 hours and be ready to go. You can do that. Or you can take your time and take all year long while your product's being developed to really create this well-oiled machine and get confident in front of that camera, which there's a lot in the Live Shopping Academy about how to have confidence on camera and, you know, how to push away the fear of being on camera. Again, it's something that can be learned. It's not something you're born with. Trust me on that one. And so that's really what it is. So you've got 6 different modules that will take you through everything that we have talked about today. There's not a thing I mentioned today that won't be available for you inside the Live Shopping Academy. And so everything from, we talked about that, the foundational work. So we're going to work together to figure out what is the best platform for you to be on. We do a whole module on figuring out your ideal customer avatar or customer persona and really understanding who they are, where they hang out, and probably most important, this is more important for live shopping than anything else, is taking time on that because you're going to be talking directly to them. So the better you know them, the more successful you're going to be. So we have all kinds of fun little cheat sheets and worksheets and things that are there for the taking that you can walk through and really spend time to set yourself up for success with that. And then in the next module, we talk about, now I'm blanking. Hold on, let me get my notes. I was going to do it without my notes, but now I need them. Well, probably the easiest way for me to do this is I'll talk about the pillars for setting up yourself for success, and then those kind of correspond to the different modules. So the first pillar is that foundation, the groundwork there. Second pillar is about your studio setup. It's lights, camera, go live. What kind of equipment do I need? What microphone do I need? What kind of, can I just use my iPhone? Do I need one of those ring lights? And then when I have my equipment, how do I set the studio up? And I keep saying studio, but it really can be a corner of your bedroom. So there are ways to make the corner of your bedroom look like a fancy studio. And so we are going to walk through all of those kinds of things so that when you go live, you have a high quality live shopping event that looks like you had a professional do it. Because as silly as that sounds, because you really can just go live with an iPhone, but the research is coming in, the data is coming in, and it really is important to have certain elements in place. The lighting, and it doesn't have to be fancy lighting. I mean, very inexpensive lighting, inexpensive mics and cameras, all of that. But to have at least a decent quality of all of those things is important. And then there are different tricks for where to position things to get that high quality stream, because people stay on longer and they look forward to coming back. If it's hard to watch, if it's grainy, if you can't hear very well, if it sounds like you're in a shower, if the camera tilt, it's hard to watch. And so people aren't coming back. So the live shopping events where the people know what they're doing, that's where they're seeing the big success. And so you're going to have all of those tips and tricks. A big question and a whole module is devoted to the host, whether that host is you or whether you want to find somebody else to host or a hybrid of the two. So not only who should host, and so that can depend on what your product and your brand is, but how you find the hosts and how do you set the host up for success? And if that host is you, how can we set you up for success? What are those little, I have so many hosting tips and strategies, having been a host myself for 15 years and learning from the best of the best, that I'm kind of opening the vault on all of that to help you guys feel really confident and really comfortable when you go live for the very first time, and then just kind of keep improving it as we go. And after that, excuse me, really important element is the pre-show prep. And I will say, this is where a lot of brands fail. And this is where people get discouraged and they stop doing their live shopping, because it can feel daunting. I'm sure hearing me talk, it makes it seem quite daunting. But if you do your pre-show prep and you have it all lined up, and I keep saying well-oiled machine, but you create this well-oiled machine that you do every single time, by the time you clip go live, you are gonna, the weight, the stress, all of that lifts, because you know everything is taken care of. And so everything, and I have these checklists and kind of cheat sheets that you'll go through each time, all the way down to make sure you have a cup of water, glass of water, especially if you're going to go for 90 minutes. Things like that. Like, don't forget, because you don't want to get halfway through the show and go, oh my God, I need my water. Or if you've been on my shows, you've seen me do this before. I forget to plug in my computer. And then I go, oh my gosh, hold on, I got to go plug in my computer. So I try to take all of that off of you with that pre-show prep. But also, part of pre-show prep is the structure of your show. I would never want you to script a show. In fact, I'll be mad at you if you script a show. But I do want you to have structure to your show. I want you to know roughly how long it's going to be. And in that period of time, what do we want to accomplish? What are the goals of the show? And roughly at what time point are we going to hit each one of those goals? Are we going to show 5 products? So let's talk about 5 minutes in, I'm going to show the first product. And part of that run of show is also engaging your audience. And so those tips and tricks about how to keep your audience engaged, because we want them to stay as long as possible. Of course, the giveaway is a big part of that, because they want to stay to the end to find out if they win. But also, again, there's a lot of different ways to keep them engaged, but sometimes, especially in the beginning, when you first start, you actually want to write that into your run of show to remind yourself to ask the audience questions periodically, because you'll get going and forget about all that. And then the show's over and you're like, oh, I didn't engage my audience at all. And there was no comments in the chat. And so we have worksheets where you're going to have all of that set up ahead of time before you go live. So that will keep you on track. And if you have someone that's going to moderate your show for you, you both have a copy of that. And so you're both following that. And if you want to use video clips or still images to show, to better describe some of your products, how to set all of that up ahead of time as well. And then, of course, doing that tech check, making sure your computer is plugged in, making sure your internet speed is quick enough, and how to run those tech checks, just those little things. I really try hard in the Live Shopping Academy to take the tech headache off of you, because I know how daunting it was for me. And so making that as seamless as possible for you that's a big part of it as well. And then the 5th pillar of a successful live shopping event is actually after the show ends. I probably should make it the first pillar, because it's really important, because as I mentioned, 80% of the conversion happens after the show. So it's what, so many brands think, oh, the broadcast is over, I'm done, it didn't go that well, we only had 2 sales, blah, blah. No, 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 no. And in fact, grommet shows, I'll have grommet brands on and I'll hear from the brand after, oh, we only had 1 sale, or we didn't have any sales. And I'll say, just wait, just hold on, because it's what happens after. And it's not just what happens sales after, but let's watch your SEO ranking over a period of time. Let me take a look at all the people that signed up for your giveaway, who are now a part of your ecosystem on your email subscriber list. So all of those things start coming into play afterward. But I also want to make sure that it's easy for you to take that content and have it turned into little pieces that you can use in social media. And so I'm going to get into some things that I built into the Live Shopping Academy to make all of that easy for you with the bonuses that I put together for you. So that is the 5th pillar. And then I used to say 6 pillars, because this one is sort of a bonus when you get comfortable. Because people say, well, what if nobody shows up? Then what do I do? If no one shows up, guys, doesn't matter. It's totally fine. So I hope that takes some pressure off of you. because if nobody shows up, again, it's what happens after the show and how we repurpose it. But when you get comfortable and you actually do want people to show up, then we'll talk about how to promote your show, how to get people to the show, how to create a giveaway, how to run that giveaway, how to track that giveaway, what kind of social media posts do I need to create to get people to the show? What should my thumbnail look like for the show? All of that. And because I want you to walk before you run, that's why I say that's kind of a bonus pillar. What we find with live shopping is if you don't promote your event at all and nobody shows, that's still fine because you're going to get lots of benefits from it. But once you get comfortable and you do decide to start promoting, you're probably going to see about a 20% jump in attendance and conversion. You know, it kind of domino effects. So promoting the show can mean email marketing, it can mean social media, it can mean giveaways. That can all be free. Or, of course, you can put money behind it if you want to, but you don't have to. You can also collaborate with other brands, and I tell you how to do that inside the Live Shopping Academy as well, so that you guys can do a show together and you can share your email lists, because maybe yours is small and theirs is small, but together it becomes big. And then you run a giveaway together and it becomes bigger. So there's ways to work together in live shopping that's really fun. And different proven live shopping shows, formats of shows where you can have an expert on. So give you a lot of ideas for that. And in addition to that, and it kind of encompasses everything I've said, is also planning your, I would love for you to plan your entire year out up front, to think about all the holidays that have something to do with your product line, to think about all those occasions that you could run an event for. What are the different gifting occasions throughout the year? Plan those events, put them inside your Live Shopping Academy planner so that they're already on the books. And all year long, knowing that you're going to do that show down the road, you're thinking, your wheels are spinning about how you're going to do that show and who you want to collaborate with on it, if you do want to collaborate with someone. So planning. I'm a big planner junkie. And so the fact that I got to create one for the Live Shopping Academy makes me very, very happy. So that is the gist of what is inside the Live Shopping Academy. You have those 6 modules. They're video based. It is yours truly on video teaching you each one of those different modules. Again, you can access each one whenever you want to access it. And then with each one of those modules, there's all kinds of downloadable PDFs and worksheets and cheat sheets and prompts and things for, audience engagement prompts. Power words, that's one of my favorites. Is there's a whole list of words that you can use when you're selling live that are, I'll never forget going through training at QVC, and they said, don't you ever say the A word when you're live. And I'm thinking, ASS? What are you talking about? And what they meant was amazing. And guess what? I do say amazing a lot, but amazing is taboo. You're not supposed to say amazing, because it really, if you think about it, really doesn't say a whole lot. And so what word could you use instead of amazing that could be much more descriptive and could be more apt to lead to an add to cart moment when you're selling than amazing? It's hard for people to imagine what amazing is. So there's all kinds of little tips and tricks like that just words that are more exciting, that draw people in, that you can use instead of other words. So all of that's included inside the Live Shopping Academy. Now, let me show you. I'm going to go to a slide to show you the bonuses. And these bonuses are a limited time that I'm putting these together, because we are going to close admittance for the Live Shopping Academy, because part of that, where is it? Oh, there we go. Okay, because part of the bonus is the fact that I'm going to be doing live training with everybody that does decide to hop on board. And so here are the bonuses that I have built in. The first one you're seeing there is what I just said. It is live coaching calls with me. So we're going to go live once a month together. And these can be live Q&A, where you can send me questions ahead of time and we'll go through them and get all your questions answered. But I also like to take a module or a subject within the Live Shopping Academy that I know is a real hot button for people and really do a deep dive in that live coaching call. So what I find is most times it'll be a bit of a hybrid. We'll have one subject that we go deep on, and then we'll also get some questions answered live. So I always want you to feel like I'm your partner in this journey in live shopping, that we're doing it together. Something that I talked about doing with our last launch, but I didn't do, but I'm definitely doing this time, is doing what I'm calling a live shopping hot seat for those interested, where if you want to put, or if you're brave enough to give us your live shopping event that you just did, or maybe you do want to do a practice one and get our thoughts on it, inside one of those coaching calls, we will actually watch your live shopping event, and I will give my opinions and critiques on it, and the whole audience will as well. What was good, wasn't good, how can we improve it, how can we change your camera angle to draw the audience in more, how can we adjust your lighting to really make it pop, things like that will go live, because I think everybody can really benefit from seeing the real deal and seeing what can happen with just tiny little tweaks. In live shopping, it's amazing how tiny little things can make such a difference. So we'll definitely do that. I am throwing in, and this was something that is going to be, I'm going to be selling, but I'm throwing it into here, and that is my giveaway mastery, because so many, and it is a mini course on how to run a giveaway. That question I get asked all the time. Do I need a certain kind of a tool? How do I get people to, how do they opt in? How do they, so many questions around that. So I put it into a little mini course that walks you through step by step exactly how to create it, how to promote it, how to run it, how to track it, all of that, because I want you to use giveaways to death. Giveaways are going to be your everything, because as I said, they help promote the show. They build your email list. They keep people on throughout the entire show. It's just this unicorn strategy that everybody should be doing with live shopping. And so that is normally $99. That's included. And then the live shopping event template kit. And this is another one that's new that we didn't have before. But I found so many people saying, how did you get that fancy thing around your screen, that overlay? So I'm giving you templates of all of these things so that when you go live, when you start, you're going to look like a pro out of the gate. You're going to have a countdown timer. You're going to have the overlay. You're going to have social media assets that will help you promote your events on Instagram and Facebook and all of that. You're going to have email templates that will help you promote your shows to your subscriber base. And as that grows, that becomes more and more important. So that's all inside that template kit that is also included. And then, as I mentioned, there is a live shopping planner, which is my baby. And that is a printable planner. And I recommend that you do print it out and 3-hole punch it and put it in a binder, but however you want to do it, it's up to you. But it'll help you plan your overall strategy, your checklists for each show, all of that into one place, so that you're able to kind of very seamlessly execute on your shows throughout the year. Any questions at all on that? I'm missing the chat. Let's see. Oh, we've got a couple questions in the chat. Let's see there. Okay, Live Shopping Academy helped me with my confidence in meetings, podcasts, IG Lives, etc. Sherry, thank you so much for saying that, because I'm so glad that it has helped. But that is such a good point of that is the world we are living in. We are doing Zooms constantly. We have to be on camera, whether we like it or not. And a big part of the Live Shopping Academy is getting you comfortable, confident on camera. And it's not just about you getting confident and knowing what to do and what not to do, but it's also about when you have a decent camera and decent lighting, it's amazing how much more confident you can feel, because you look a little better. And when you look a little better, you kind of have a little bit of a spring in your step. And so all of that is inside the Live Shopping Academy. And it's something that I recommend for everybody, whether if you're going to hire a host, I would still love for you to go through that module for yourself, just for life, because it's the gift that keeps on giving. When you figure that out and you can get confident, it's amazing how it can change so many things in your life. Marcy, is there any chance we can chat soon? I'm hoping to help inventors. I would be able to share when we meet. Here's my link. Thank you for that. Yes, absolutely. I will contact you on LinkedIn. Thank you for asking. So used to making less than 60-second videos, now 90 minutes, says Hillary. Yes, but Hillary, I'm telling you, it is much easier than it sounds. I would have died if someone told me I had to be, my first HSN, it was 5 minutes. And that seemed forever to me before I went live. And then I went live and it was 5 seconds, it felt like. So you'll be amazed how, and with all the different strategies and things for how to engage your audience in the chat and all of that, you're going to do great, especially with your product, because you can demo so much over and over and over, that's what people love. And even if you don't want to demo live, you can cut to video footage and say, here's a different kind of a bun you can do with it. And here, if you put it this way, look at this video. So you can, kind of go back and forth with live and video if you want to. I use all the equipment that Marcy recommends, and I love it. Oh, Sherry, I'm so glad to hear that. I didn't pay Sherry to do this, but thank God we got you in from the waiting room. So how much is a 6-module program? Thank you, Mom iPhone, for asking that. I forgot to mention that. The 6-module, the entire program that I just said, and the 4 bonuses, everything, the kit and caboodle, is a total of $499 if you're paying in full, or I have a payment plan set up where it is $183, 3 monthly payments. So you can do either one of those. And I do want to say, because I want so badly for everybody to try, to get started, to get moving with live shopping, because I know how life-changing, how game-changing it can be, both personally, and Sherry, I think, is attesting to that, just learning what you learn in there about communication, about camera confidence, about confidence in general, just that is a game changer. And then to apply this to live shopping in the real world where people are just making a killing, it's so exciting to think of what it could do for your business, for your life, and again, for your personal self. And so I do have a 30-day, no questions asked, money back guarantee. So if you get into it and you just don't think that this is for you, I just want you to try it. And I want, I shouldn't say no questions asked, because there is a little caveat that I do just want to know that you tried, like that you've done a little bit of the work and it just wasn't for you, fine. But so it's no risk at all. And so what I will say is that if you sign up, let's say you do the full $499 payment, you're getting, as I said, the 6 modules, you're getting the planner, you're getting the template kit, you're getting the coaching calls, and you're getting the giveaway mastery mini course. What was I going to say? Oh, so what I was going to say to that is on Friday, those go away, the bonuses, those 4 bonuses. So it's not that you can't become a part of Live Shopping Academy, you still can, but those 4 bonuses will not be available after Friday. So that's my little incentive to get you guys going faster and to really want you guys to be set up right out of the gate. And what I want to say is everything that I talked about on the show today is, first of all, it's been recorded. So I am going to send you the replay. So anything you want to watch back, you can absolutely do that. And I'm also going to be sending you a video about the Live Shopping Academy. It's a 3-minute video that'll give you, I actually may send you the 8-minute. I think I'm going to send you the 8-minute video because it gives you more detail on all those modules and what you can expect. So I'll send you that one. And then it'll also have all the detail on the Academy and how to sign up and all of that, the link to sign up. So you'll be getting all that either tonight or tomorrow. And I'm actually hosting another event tomorrow that you are welcome to come back to if anybody jumped on late or just wants to ask more questions or anything. And that event is tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. And so I know we've got quite a few signed up for that, but you can jump back in. You do need to get signed up ahead of time for that. Or if you know someone who couldn't be here that you think might benefit, I would love to have them tomorrow. So just let me know that. What date does the program start? The program opens, the doors open, is it July 2nd, Jen? July 2nd is when basically you'll be given access to the Live Shopping Academy course. You'll be given a calendar of the live training, so you'll know exactly when that is, and you'll have access to all of it on July 2nd. And let's see, what date? How long are the modules available? Modules are available indefinitely. So that is yours. You can watch them again and again. You can, I've myself purchased a couple courses that I sometimes have put on the back burner because my life changes for whatever reason. And then I want to come back to them. And that's just so nice to be able to go back or maybe I didn't want to repurpose the content on my show when I first started. I didn't feel like that was important. And then as you get into it, you're like, gosh, I really need to start doing that. Great, go grab that module and get back into that and jump into, oh, that's one other thing I didn't mention. You're also going to be a part of a Facebook group. And it is a community of current and past alumni, Live Shopping Academy alumni, I love that, because that is where you can ask questions. You can put your live shopping events in there, and people can, if you want to put them up and say, what do you guys think? Do you like what I'm wearing? Do you like what my set looks like? Do you like, were you enticed to buy this? Is there a different way I could tweak what I said to make it better? That, I love that all day long. And then I'm going to be putting in little tidbits as, maybe I learned about a new platform that I think is fantastic that I'd love for you guys to take a look at. I'll pop that in there. So I'm just going to kind of see that as a place where I'm always keeping you guys up to date on what's happening in live shopping. And of course, I do my Let's Talk Live Shopping live stream every Wednesday. It's at 1:00 on the West Coast and 4 on the East Coast, where I'm just bringing new information about live shopping, new platforms, new case studies, success stories, things like that. So I always love when you guys are on there. If you're able to join me for that, it's great. But so Cindy, to answer your question, absolutely. You will have it lifetime access. And as I update, because it's moving and shaking quickly, so I anticipate probably next year I'll do another update to it, and you guys will always have access to those updates. And Bonnie is asking, what about original members? Just asking. Yes. Oh, Bonnie, yes. Original members, which Bonnie is an original member, you will always get my lifetime updates. So you are getting everything that you saw today as part of my founding member group. So all 4 of those freebies, they're yours. So we are just barely over our time, and I am so grateful to all of you who came and joined me tonight or today, wherever you are. This was really fun. I hope it was informative. If there is any questions that you have after the fact, like I said, I'm going to send you an email with all the information, and I encourage you to reply to the email if you have any question, and either myself or someone from our Live Shopping Academy team will get back to you as quickly as possible. And as I mentioned, I missed a couple messages, so I'm going to get to those. And as I mentioned, the doors close for the 5 bonuses. So today's webinar and tomorrow's webinar, those will be the ones that are able to get in on all of that. That will be at midnight. There was some confusion last time, so I want to get this right. Midnight East Coast, correct? Mm-hmm. On Friday, midnight East Coast. So 9:00 West Coast, midnight East Coast. Let's see, can the OGs also participate in the classes? Absolutely, in the live classes. Yes, I encourage that. I love as many people as possible in the live classes because I think we learn so well from each other. So yes, I mean, for years to come, please, please. And Bonnie says, so much information. Thank you. Cindy says, thank you. Thanks so much. Event was great. Oh, I'm so glad, you guys. Thank you so much for being here. And again, if you have any questions afterward, you can also go to my website, which is marcymckenna.com. You can contact me there and find out, for those who don't already know me, all the other things I'm up to. A little too much, I think. Anyway, guys, thanks again for being here. Have a wonderful rest of your day and evening, and I will hopefully see you inside the Live Shopping Academy.